Welcome back, everybody, to Conversation Chronicles. Thanks for joining me on my channel. If this is your first time joining me, just realize that I'm going to talk stuff about relationships. I'm going to talk junk. I'm going to talk about the ups and the downs. And this is my space. This is our space. We're family. So you'll tell me topics. People will talk to me and they'll say, well, Tasha, you should talk about this and you should talk about that. So today happened to be a day that I actually have a podcast. And I spoke about the correlation between sports and relationships. And I got tickled because who knew you can actually make a whole correlation between things that the men like and things that we like to talk about, ladies. And I know there's men on here too, but I have a good balance, so maybe it'll hold your attention. But I thought it was too good when I thought about the different sports. And, you know, with relationships, there's ups and downs. And anytime I like to consider them to be seasons. And everybody knows seasons don't last long. So you have the 4 seasons. So even as it is in relationships, you'll definitely have different seasons. And even if you've never been in a relationship before, you have to be able to relate to me. So I wanted to take time to talk about a couple of sports. I had my football, basketball, baseball, soccer. I even want to talk about wrestling and hockey today. And I'm going to get in and get quick. Get in, hit it quick, and get out. Just so I can make sure that I don't hold you too long. But so let's just get right into it. When it comes down to football, I see relationships having a correlation to the season of football. In respect to, everybody knows in football, sometimes you get frustrated. You get frustrated. Why? Because in relationships, all too often, depending on where you are, if you know, it won't be smooth. You'll be going forward. You'll be going backwards. So I like to consider that the football season. In the football season, you know what happens. Sometimes you're going to gain ground in your relationship. Sometimes you're going to get pushed back. Sometimes you're going to find yourself going up against the competitors. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about the outsiders. The outsiders. And in this situation, we're going to say they're the other team. The other team, they're going to come against your relationship and you're going to have to work together to hold that line. Look, I'm tapping into my cheerleading days. Hold that line in your relationship. That's football season. And most importantly, when you are struggling in the game of football in your relationship, you're trying to hold the line. You're trying to gain ground. You're getting pushed back and the competition is coming for your man or your woman. Remember one thing, that is a hard time. You are going to work hard. You might get knocked off your feet during that time, and you might get the air knocked out of you. Now, I'll take a second to let you think about that one. And there are times in relationships, and I don't know about you, but with me, I have had the air knocked out of me because I got hit so hard. And a lot of times when you get the air knocked out of you, it's not a time where they looking right at you and the situation comes right in. No, it's something hit you from the sideline. Woo, and you're back. And you're back. You can't breathe. You can't bleed it. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody cheated. Somebody left you. Some bad news. Something happened where it just shook your whole world and knocked the air out of you. Well, that's football season. All right. I know y'all getting it. I know you're getting it. All right. So let's talk about basketball. Basketball season in a relationship. All right. So when it comes to basketball, that to me it's a high athletic sport. So because why? Because you're going back and forth a lot more than, let's say, football. So in your relationship in that basketball season, you're going to find yourself working more as a team, because I feel like in a basketball season during your relationship, you're both giving the same amount of energy. Now that's if you're in the game, but if your head is outside of the game or you're sitting on the sideline and you're not getting your play time, then that's different. But in a basketball season relationship, you're going to find yourself putting in just as much blood, sweat, and tears into trying to make that shot, to try to score, to try to really make sure that you solidify your relationship. And you're working as a team. You got to give eye contact. That means your mate is doing what? They're paying attention to you. They're watching how you move. Everybody know in basketball, when you start playing ball and you got a teammate that knows you, that they play with you often, they know when you give them the look, and they know when you go left and they know when you go right. They know what you're about to do. They know you're about to lay it up. So they're figuring you out. They're getting comfortable with you. They're able to maybe finish your sentences. Anyway, That's how I see the basketball season. And in my podcast, I mentioned that I thought that was one of the better seasons to be in. I mean, it's hard work, but I like to look at that as maybe the beginner relationship, the beginning season of a relationship, basketball season. I hope y'all getting this. Let's move on. How about baseball season? A baseball season relationship will literally be probably what I would like to call the boring phase. This will probably be the phase in the relationship where you're bored with them. You looking over, they want to do the same stuff. You already know what they're about to do. Hey, honey. Hey, boo-boo. What you want to eat? What you want to eat? You want to go to the movies? You want to go to the movies? How about we catch a movie? Boring. It's going to take a long time for you to get some action. What do I mean by action? Well, in baseball, you know how boring it can be until there's time for someone to actually get on base. So in the baseball season of your relationship, you want to be looking forward to getting on base. Not necessarily hitting the home run, okay? Not necessarily making it on home, taking it on home. You don't want to rush this. This is the season for the people who are in their relationship that are taking their time. Actually, when I think about it, this might be the season of when you are trying to chase after somebody. If you have a crush or you're really trying to figure out if you want to be in a relationship with somebody, take your time. That's baseball season. Baseball season, you get on first place, you get on second base, you get on third, and hopefully you make it all the way home. I'm just saying, this stuff is good to me, so I know it's good to you. And eventually, if you take your time, y'all tell me what happened. Sometimes, out of nowhere, you get to knock it out of the park, and you got the home run. Now everybody cheering for you because, oh, you're so cute, whatever. You got that ice, whatever it is. You got it going on because you waited, you took your time in that season, and they knocked it out of the park. And now you get home runs. Woo, 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 woo. Baseball season. What else we got? Okay. So then there's soccer season. Well, you know, soccer could kind of be like baseball to me, but you still are really, really, really putting in a lot of energy. You have to have your endurance up in your relationship when you're in soccer season, because that means that you're a runner. This might be the phase where you buying stuff, he buying stuff, she buying stuff. You want to go out? I want to go out. Y'all going out? Y'all going out. Or you might be in the soccer season of your relationship where one of you are looking for a goal and the other one is all the way in the corner field. They all the way over there like, wait a minute, hold on, you gonna kick me the ball? Nope. You might not get no play during that season. You might be feeling like, I'll miss my mate. I want to talk. I want to spend the time. I know we're on the same team. I love you. But you can't get to them. Why? Because they're headed for a goal. They are focused on that goal. They're right in front of it, and they're not going to stop until they get it. That is soccer season. Soccer season also, you got to focus on maybe protecting your mate, right? Because they are focused on a goal. So your job as the teammate on the soccer season, this is so funny, but it makes sense, right? Is to watch the opposition. You're supposed to have their back and watch the opposition. And when they're going out, you make a way. You throw yourself in harm's way. Sometimes, men, I'm talking to you. You know, protect your woman. Ain't nothing like a man that protect their woman. And not in competition with her. Anyway, that's soccer season. I kind of like that season. Moving on. Wrestling. So we have the sport of wrestling. I thought about it. I said, that's a tough season. That could be a tough season because what you have when you're wrestling, you have two people who are struggling, physically struggling, trying to make something happen. One's trying to win, the other's trying to win. One's trying to impose their impose their thoughts and their ways on the other one, and the other one's trying to impose their thoughts and ways on the other one. I know this is making sense to you. You're wrestling, you're struggling, you're not coming together as one. There is no, I don't know who needs to hear this. But listen closely. If you are on the same team, if you are on a relationship or in a marriage, the wrestling season is not where you want to find yourself, because that means you are not on one accord. Never struggle with your mate. You're on the same team. Why should it be a struggle? It should actually be something that you're doing to other people. You're keeping them out. You're fighting to keep other people out of your relationship. Don't wrestle each other. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. That's a struggling season. You're trying to pin them down. Stop trying to pin them down. That's something else I'm thinking about too in wrestling season. Don't try to stop me. Don't try to stop me from doing what I'm doing, especially for us who are visionaries and we're the pioneers, and you're always doing and going. Don't try to pin your mate down in wrestling season. You wrestler, you stop it. You let them go get that goal. You let them go get that paper if they're paper chasing. You let them go finish those degrees and complete those visions and make everything come to the life that they've been dreaming about before you even came in the picture. Some of y'all. But you don't want to hear from me. All right, and last but not least, hockey season. I saved hockey season for last on the podcast, and it really came to me why hockey season should be last, because there's nothing pretty about hockey. Now, hockey, all of them are great sports, but hockey is known to be what? Hockey is known to be violent. It's a violent sport. And really, it's cold, it's violent, it's very aggressive, it's fast, it's happening fast. So you could potentially find yourself in a season of your relationship where it's going really fast and it seems like it's spiraling out of control, right? You don't have control. You can't control the other person. You're arguing back and forth. It's getting violent, maybe physically. Hopefully not. Hopefully you're not physically getting violent. And if you are, let your girl tell you first. Get out of that relationship. Forget the season. Get out of that relationship. But if it's violent to the voice of you're going back and forth and you're arguing, remember your girl. Listen, hockey season. Cold word, hockey season. Tell your friends we all family, right? We're family. If you find your girlfriend or your guy friend or your cousin family, whoever we are on here, and you see that they in hockey season, don't even tell them. Listen, remember that your girl Tasha said it first. Yeah, I know. We've all been watching you go through. It should sound something like this. Cold word. Yeah, hockey season. They ain't gonna know what it's talking about, but it's something to hit and they be like, wait a minute, that sounds real violent. There's nothing pretty about it. So anyway, that is all I got. I just wanted to come in here and I went over my time, but I wanted to give you a little more on this video. Anyway, hope you got something from it. I hope you're entertained off of it. And I know the correlation, who knew? Sports, relationships, I'm putting it all together for you. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, follow me on my podcast. And when I go live, listen in, tune in, tell a friend, whatever. And listen, if you thought it, I thought it, but I'm going to be the one to say it. Anyway, I see you when I see you. Later.